pollination, and extracting the different products from them. These are all playing an important role. When we come to the problems, we say that some deadly epidemics like the past have been caused by this particular insects, plague, which is caused by the fleas, and some of the rodents also caused deadly epidemics earlier. Coming to the, when we want to write about the classification, we will write in general kingdom, Animalia, phylum, Arthropoda, class, whichever class that insect belongs to, and order, whichever class it belongs to, family, genus, species. Like this, whenever we will identify one particular insect, we write this particular classification for every insect in the practical record also. So you'll get an idea how to write during the practical work, like what are the considerations we have to be taking for placing them in particular class, and how they belong to particular order, like that, and how we will place them in particular family. The highest level in the kingdom, the most specific is the special level. The most specific is the species level. Organisms are usually classified by the genus and the species. So this is called as a binomial nomenclature, which we are studying from the Inter. What is then called binomial nomenclature? We will give the one genus name, and if at all in that we will find the different species, we will name the species. We will be giving the species name also. So that is called as a binomial nomenclature. So usually whatever around us, we see those particular 6 orders of insects we see, that is Orthoptera. We can see the cockroach, grasshopper, locust. These are one particular main class what we discuss to study the external morphology. Orthoptera. External morphology of the insect we have studied means we are taking the example of Orthoptera. That is grasshopper. And in this only we will also come across the cockroach. So when we take that particular thing which have been found in this particular arthropoda, that is segmentation. Head, thorax, and abdomen we see from the arthropoda only. So for that we study each and every detail of this particular grasshopper in the external morphology. Next main order what we come across here is Hemiptera. We see the particular honeybees in this particular class, and the Lepidoptera, all the butterflies. So some orders are that mainly what we usually see around us. We have to be knowing as an entomology students. So you should remember some orders, at least some 10 orders like that. Also, if possible, you can remember. Otherwise, these are main. So this thrips, I said, Thysanoptera, thrips, what we will see around the gardens. And Coleoptera, all the beetles, whichever beetles we see.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of thrips?
Thrips, winged insects, duvenalu antaru.
Okay, fine, ma'am.
Wasps, bees, these are all we see around the gardens. Thrips also, some the wing will be different. Like this thrips will have an wing, very sharp wings. Differentiation will be, we can see, we can, in particular, we can tell that this is the difference between the wasp and the thrip. How are the insects being grouped means by the way they feed on plants, by their mouth parts. Mainly these mouth parts we are going to do in practical, like how the different mouth parts they possess according to the feeding habit. Like when we see the mosquito, they'll have the piercing and sucking type of mouth parts.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then when we see the butterflies, they'll have the siphoning. Means they'll insert the proboscis into the flower and they will suck. So they'll have the that type of mouth parts in the siphoning. We'll say that particular mouth parts as an siphoning type of mouth parts. And in housefly, sponging means it will sit on the food. First, it will sponge it. Sponging and sucking type of mouth parts. And honeybees also, they'll have chewing and lapping type of mouth parts. Chewing and lapping type of mouth parts. And like this, we see many insects having different types of mouth parts according to their feeding habits. So we are going to do the practical
Honeybee
work. Huh?
Honeybee mouth parts.
Chewing and lapping. Chewing and lapping. L-A-P-P-I-N-G. Lapping. Okay. You will in detail, you're going to study about these mouth parts. I'll explain you with the diagrams in the practical work. Okay. In the practical class, I'll be showing the each and every mouth part structure, and you can do the practical work also by catching them in the university gardens, and we can make the slides of them. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
So here he has given 6 mouth parts, mainly sponging, which is in the housefly, rasping and sucking in some of the wasp, siphoning in the butterfly, chewing and lapping in the honeybee. Only chewing will be there in some, this one, biting and chewing in the cockroach, and piercing and sucking in the mosquito. So these usually all around us, whatever the insects we see, we will be studying all of their mouth parts in detail with the diagrams. So insects have no internal skeleton, and they rely on their hard outer coating, exoskeleton, which protects their inner organs and supports their body. Coming to the external morphology of the insect, we come across the head, thorax, and abdomen. Head, thorax, and abdomen. And head is with the pair of compound eye, 2 sensory appendages called the antenna. Some they'll have the antennules also on their head, along with the antenna. When we come to the thorax region is where we find the attachment of the 3 pairs of legs. Usually, all the insects, they'll have the 3 pairs of legs. Coming to the abdomen, it is attached to the thorax, and which will contain 11 to 12 segments, or more than that in some only. Usually, the number of abdominal in segments will be 11 to 12. And we'll see the life cycles as an incomplete metamorphosis and complete metamorphosis. So we'll have the life cycles like incomplete metamorphosis and complete metamorphosis we see usually in the life cycle of insects. That is egg stage, nymph stage, wing stage, and the adult stage. So usually we have studied earlier in classes like egg,
Ma'am, what is nymph, ma'am?
maggot, like whatever comes out from the egg, we'll call it as a maggot or nymph. According to the naming of that particular insect life cycle, we'll say sometimes maggot, sometimes nymph. Okay, like nymph has no wings. Maggots also, they'll have usually no wings, but later they develop the next stage of that particular life cycle. When we take it, for example, if you take the
It's
silkworm
like
life
lava.
cycle, silkworm life cycle, we come across like this only the 4 stages: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. This is a complete life cycle. And this is an incomplete metamorphosis. That is eggs, nymph stages, and the late nymph developing the wings, and adult. So this life cycle we see in the silkworms: egg, larva, pupa, and adult stages. You have drawn these diagrams in the 6th class only about this complete metamorphosis, how they'll undergo, how the caterpillar like larva will come out of and it's like a butterfly. In the butterfly also we see the same stages: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
What is the larva means? It is when the young insect has soft tubular body and looks very much like a worm. So what first, the when we see the egg size, it will be of 1 mm in size. That is, for example, when we see the egg of the silkworms, they will silk insects, they lay the eggs on the cards in many numbers. So that egg, when we place it in the mulberry leaves, the whatever the egg comes out of the egg, we'll call it as a maggot, which will be like a small ants, small ant-like structures. And that particular ant, will call it as a maggot, and then it will develop into a pupa and then adult. Pupa is where it will enclose itself in some shell-like structure, and it develops inside the body of the
Cocoon.
insect, develop inside that pupa. And then it will open up that particular pupa and comes out as an adult, usually in all the
Cocoon, ma'am.
complete metamorphosis means that will happen. So pupa stage means the larva, which is, for example, in silkworms, it will take 5 different instars to get complete. It's come to the pupa stage. Means whatever comes out from the egg, we are calling it as a maggot. And maggot again goes to the larva form. And that is 5th instars, it will come complete and goes to the enclosure part, that is pupa. So the larva matures and will pass through the pupa stages, which is usually relatively a dormant stage. Means this dormant stage will encloses itself in some shell-like structure. So we'll call that particular stage as a pupa stage. And coming to the next part. This is not there in. Okay, here we will be taking out. So next, whatever comes out from the pupa stage is called as an adult stage. Then if you have a textbooks in front of you, shall we start with the external morphology of the insect?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Come to the page number 31.
Okay, ma'am.
In the practical class, I'll give you the skeletal structure of the classification. I'll give the orders, or otherwise in the next class, I'll show you the skeletal structure of the how to classify the different insects in the exoterygota, endoterygota, and aterygote insects like that. And I'll give the skeletal structure and I'll explain. Okay, that part we'll do in the next class. This class we will discuss about the external morphology in the insect. So in your textbook, it has given like the head is having sutures and sclerites, thorax part. Appendages, coming to the appendages, we will discuss about the mouth parts, antenna, general characters of wings of insects, wing venation, like this. So today we are going to start like that, the external morphology on this basis. So now we'll come to the head part. Page number 32. All of you are having the textbooks with you now at present?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we have, ma'am.
So whoever are present in the class, they are having the textbooks, I think. All of you. Can I continue with the text?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So coming to the head part, the head is strongly sclerotized. So see the diagram of the head first. Head part, which is in the 33 page. Okay. So the head part is divided into vertex, frons, clypeus, and labrum. Under the labrum, we'll also find the labium. Labrum is the upper lip. Labium is the lower lip. So coming to the head, whatever the head part possesses, we will discuss about the sutures, and these main discussion we'll do about the vertex part, frons, and the side will have a antenna, clypeus, labrum, and the lower lip as an labium. So these parts we are going to discuss. that head is a strongly sclerotized capsule having a pair of compound eyes and antenna. In this particular grasshopper insect which we are discussing. And first pre-antennary will have the compound eyes, and the antennary part will see the pair of antenna. And the third segment, we will not see any appendages. In the fourth segment, we will find the mandibular, that is a pair of mandibles. Mandibles are useful for chewing. Okay. And the fifth segment, we will find the maxillary palps. And the sixth segment, we will find the labium, like labrum and the labium, which are upper lip and the lower lip of the insects. So like this, we find in the head, the 6 segments. And we also find the sutures in in the given diagram, whatever we are discussing. Like vertex part is in Y shape, isn't it? Vertex part will be of Y shape.
Yes.
And whenever we have a sutures, it are interrelated with the two, like frontoclypeal suture, which is between the frons and the clypeus. Clypeolabus suture, which is between the clypeus and the labrum. Genal suture, which is between the compound eyes and the genna. And subgenal suture between the genna and the head. And the occipital suture and the post-occipital suture. So these are the sutures of the head region. Yet here it is given very clearly about the sutures, but as such, to remember, we will usually, the head is of 6 particular segments with the vertex, frons, genna, clypeus, labrum, labium. These are important to remember. What are the parts of the head of the insect means? Vertex, frons, genna, clypeus, labrum, labium. These things you have to remember.
Labrum is different, labium is different, ma'am.
Watch me. A labrum is upper lip. Labium is lower lip. Below the labrum, we will find the labium. I'll show you when you hold the insect mouth parts, when you hold the insect head part, that is cockroach, you can see the labrum is upper lip and the labium as a lower lip. We usually used to take out this particular head parts in the intermediate only earlier. Maybe nowadays they are not doing the dissections, but earlier we used to do these particular labrum, labium, antenna, all these we used to do a head of the insect. We can take out even the mandibles also from the cockroach mouth parts. We can do it. I'll show you in the practical. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
And coming to the next part, we will see all these particular vertex, frons, clypeus, labrum, genna, post-genna, occiput, how they have to be defined. The vertex is the dorsal side of the head, and the frons are lies between the frontal clypeal suture, and then below the frons there will be an clypeus, and clypeus is an suture between the labrum and the frons, and labrum is the lower lip. Genna are the sutures which are below the compound eyes, and there are also sclerites of post genna in the occiput suture. vertex to the gena, and the post-occiput. So these are the main sclerites what we see in the head part of the insect. We see the same thing in the cockroach as well as the grasshopper what we are studying. There may be a little variation, but almost all the parts of the insect head parts and thorax and abdomen will be same. Coming to the thorax region, we can see the thorax part as an mesothorax, metathorax, and the prothorax regions. So this particular thorax region is where all the 3 pairs of legs are attached to, and the 2 pairs of wings are attached to the thoracic region, and a pair of legs are present to the prothorax region. The first pair of wings arises from the mesothoracic segment, and the second pair of from the metathoracic segment. 2 pairs of wings will be there, no? Along with the legs, there are also 2 pairs of wings which are arising from the mesothoracic segment and metathoracic segment.
Ma'am, can you please repeat the terminology? Means these are new for us. So can you please say about suture and occiput?
Occiput? Which one? Terminology of which one?
Suture, occiput.
Sutures are the ones which we are seeing as an what we will say. Do you want the difference between the sutures and the sclerites?
No. What is the use of that suture? Means particular part name. Suture.
No. Suture when we are calling means the vertex and below the vertex there is an clypeus. These are 2 sclerites. Means between the 2 sclerites there will be an whatever the line we are calling it, that is called as a suture. Line you are finding, no?
Yes. Lines and segments which are separate.
Line.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood? The line, the sclerites means you will know the sclerite means what? Can you tell me what is sclerite? It's like an
The area of head, the area
insect
of the
body
head.
usually will have this particular all the how can I tell? They'll have all
muscles, ma'am.
Yes.
Muscles.
No, they are made up of not muscles actually. What we will say, not getting like. You have seen the cockroach body? Cockroach body?
Cartilage.
Yeah. Okay. At least we can have an comparison with the cartilage. Like supporting. It's like something which is supporting the body of the insect.
Means a skeletal system, like exoskeletal system, like.
Yeah, exoskeletal system. The same thing. So this the body of the cockroach, particularly when we catch hold of the body of the cockroach, not the wings, take out the wings. How you will see all those are sclerites only. They are joined with something. What is that? Arthrodial membrane. Okay. Means they'll be coming off. If you touch them, they'll be coming off. Means they are very sensitive and they are attached to the arthrodial membrane. They don't have a particular hard structure which is bounding them. So these
soft structure, ma'am.
Yeah, soft structure.
Smooth.
So a smooth structure. So these are attached with the arthrodial membrane. All these particular sclerites are attached with the arthrodial membrane. So in the head part, we'll see a little bit hard sclerites, which are having one and other one when they are joining, we'll find in between them a suture. Okay, line of formation. That one we are calling it as a suture. So usually when we talk, these are all different sclerites which are arranged with one another. One is an vertex sclerite, another one is an horns sclerite, Jenna, Clypeus, labrum, and the labium. You think that it is like an plates you are arranging on the head of the this particular insect. So they are like a small plate-like structures. Sclerites means. Okay. Coming to the thorax region, we'll find three regions: prothorax, mesothorax, and the metathorax regions. We'll have these to them only. We'll find the attachment of the appendages that are legs. Coming to the wings, leaving the prothorax region, meso will have the one pair of wings. Metathorax region will have the another pair of wings. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Prothorax region never bears any wings. They bear two pairs of wings, which are attached to the meso and metathoracic region. So now coming to the abdominal part. This abdominal part consists of 11 segments, and abdominal segments are divided into three categories. That is 1 to 7 abdominal segments are called pregenital segments, where the genital organs will not be there. In the segments of 8 and 9, we find the genital segments, and the segments 10th and 11th are called as post-genital segments. Genital segments are the ones with which we can identify either it is a male insect or it is a female insect. So that genital organs are present in the 8th and 9th. So we are calling this particular segments as a genital segments, post and a pre. So now coming to the how to identify the male and female insect, we'll see anal cerci are the post-genital appendages attached to the 11th segment. Means these are the structures which are present near the anus. And these cerci are transformed into forceps-like structures, which are called as holding the another insect. They may be useful. Next, coming to the ninth segment of this particular grasshopper, we see a male long bears the subgenital plate. Male genital apparatus are present in the 9th segment of the male grasshopper, and in the female grasshopper also we see the 9th abdominal sternum possessing the 2 pairs of valves. These are very larger pairs of valves which are having an ovipositor made up of 3 pairs of valves. So in the 9th segment, we can identify the 3 valves positioned near the 9th segment. We can identify it as a female one, with which valves opening, it can oviposit the eggs. And if it is a male, we will see the another type of organ in the 9th segment. So with which we can identify it is an male or the female grasshopper. And usually in the grasshopper, we see the spiracles, which are very important for the respiration. And we also see the development of different developments we see in this particular insects, that is epimorphic development and anamorphic development. A young one after hatching from the egg consists of definite number of segments. Then the same number is maintained throughout the life cycle. Such development is called as an epimorphic. Means segments are not changed from the birth to the adult. Anamorphic, the young one hatches with only 8 segments and the rest of the segments are added afterwards in the embryonic development. Then it is called as an anamorphic development. For example, protuberance. These are the orders which we will discuss in the next class.
Ma'am, increase your volume, ma'am.
Okay, now it's okay. Dipleura and protura are the different epimorphic and anamorphic developments we see in the 2 insects. 2 types of developments we see. In one development, we don't see the number of segments changing from the birth to the adult. In anamorphic development, we see the segments are get added after the young one has developed into the adult. Coming to the appendages part, 36th page. Are you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Mouth parts. So as we have discussed, we'll have this type of mouth parts like biting and chewing mouth parts in the cockroach and grasshopper. Sucking type of mouth parts, as we have seen in the piercing and sucking type of mouth parts in the mosquito. And biting and chewing type of mouth parts we'll see in the cockroach. So the first one, we discussed this one, like how the cockroach mouth parts will be, or the grasshopper. They have the same labrum, mandibles, maxillae, labium, and the hypopharynx. See the diagram. Then you will get the idea of how the structure of the mouth parts will be. So these diagrams I have to draw. I'll explain you on the board. While drawing on the board, you can draw along with me the different types of mouth parts, like how will be the mandibles, how will be the hypopharynx. Hypopharynx means tongue region. Mandibles are for chewing and biting. They'll be helpful. And labium is the lower lip and labrum is the upper lip. They'll have a maxillary palps to hold the food. So these are all we can draw and I can explain you in the practical very well instead of explaining in the book. Okay, so we will move on to the page number 42 about the antennas. If at all possible, in the next class, I will explain you showing the different types of mouth parts, diagrams.
Yeah, it is good for us. Slide sharing, ma'am.
Yeah. In the slide share, I will show you the different types of mouth parts, how to you can draw the each and every one, and I can explain you each and every part. Here it is given a little bit more about each and every mouth parts. If it is clear diagrams only means I'll explain now only. Is it okay to follow? Shall I explain this particular parts?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, coming to the 37 page. Come to the 37 page. After the explanation, you draw one this particular diagrams. If you draw once, then you will have an each and every part of the mouth parts, how they are helpful in the insect chewing and biting and sucking or anything.
Yeah, in
Whatever
intermediate we did it.
Ma'am, if it is colorful, it is very easily understandable, ma'am.
In the practical, anyhow, I'll be giving you the colorful diagram only for you to draw. Otherwise, you can draw. This figure is also very clear. You can draw this and color it so that you can easily understand when you do the practical work. You can keep it ready. Even when you do the record work, no, in the practical, I'll make you to draw this diagram and color it. Okay. That time anyhow you will do that one. So you'll get a full idea how to do it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Today just see it. Then the same thing, it's going to be helpful for the practical also. Or the things which are there in the practical, maybe I'll skip. I have not asked the so okay, anyhow we'll discuss.
Do you have any idea about practicals are conducting when, ma'am?
This is May. Usually they'll be in May.
In May, ma'am?
Oh, yeah. We'll discuss now also and then also, okay? So this diagram you follow, 37 page. First, you have to draw the diagram of Clypeus. Then mandibles to the side. And this is an hypopharynx region, which is called as a tongue of the insect. Hypopharynx is the tongue of the insect. Mandibles are for chewing. And these mandibles, they possess the teeth, grinding and incising, means they have to insist in, they have to make a incision. So incising teeth and the grinding teeth will find in the mandibles. Then hypopharynx. Then we will come across the labium part. Labrum is the upper part. Labium is the lower lip. So when we come to the lower lip, we will come across the submentum, mentum, prementum. Do you found this? Submentum, mentum, prementum. Like this, we have to remember.
Yeah, from labium, ma'am.
And prementum.
Lower lip or upper lip?
Labium.
Labium.
This is about the labium, lower lip. The one which we are seeing above is the labrum, upper lip. You can write it there. Upper lip. Labium is the lower lip. So labium means we have to remember three regions. Mentum, submentum, mentum, and the prementum. To them, we will find the glossa, paraglossa, and palpigers. attached to these mentums, we will find the palpigers, glossa, and paraglossa. That's all. When we by heart these things, we can easily draw the diagram. And coming to this particular maxillary palps, that is maxilla, they'll have a cardo, which is attached to the head region. And above the cardo, we'll find the stipe region, palpiger, Lecinia, Galea are the two parts. And the long structure is called as an palpus. We can call it as an palpus or palpifer, anything. So palpifer is the long structure. Galea, Lecinia are the two structures. Cardo, stipe is the basal structures. So once you draw and repeat it 5 to 10 times, then you will come across them as easy to remember what is the structure of the maxilla. Maxilla structure means cardostipe, Lecinia, Galea, palpifer. These are the structures of the maxilla. When we come to the labium, we'll say mentum, submentum, mentum, prementum. Like that. Submentum, mentum, prementum. And we'll to them, they possess glossa, paraglossa, and palpigers. So like this, we'll repeat it. We'll find it very easy to learn the mouth parts. And 1 to 2 times rough diagrams when you draw, it is easy to learn the subject. And when we see, usually all the mouth parts, they either possess the mandibles, they possess the hypopharynx, tongue, maxilla, labium, labrum, same things. So once, if you learn this particular one structure of the insect, one mouth part structure, then it is easy. The same things will be repeated in all other insects mouth parts also. One or the other will be lagging, or some new parts will be there. Like that it happens, but it will make you to learn easily. So now coming to the piercing and sucking type of mouth parts in the mosquito, 38th page. We come across labrum, labium, maxilla, hypopharynx, and mandibles. Like this. So mandibles are the ones which are important to make an incision. First, when mosquito comes to us, it will make an incision. Means it will cut our skin. Okay?
Mandibles, ma'am.
Yeah.
Mandibles.
The mandibles, it will make an incision in the skin. Okay, mandibles means for cutting. They'll have a teeth-like structure. Okay. Here it will have a blade-like structure.
Injection or incision?
Incision, not injection. Incision. Is it clear?
Means with the teeth, scissors like.
Ah, yeah. How will make an cut? Cut. Incision means cut. With the blade, how we can cut our skin? Like that. So mandibles make an incision, means cut. Then it will introduce the hypopharynx. Then this hypopharynx releases the saliva, with which it is our blood, after entering into that particular insect, it is not getting clotted with that particular saliva only. Then it will suck with the epipharynx region, which is not given here. Okay. And like this, every part of the mouth parts of the insects play an important role in piercing and sucking. First, pierce it. Okay, piercing means that make an incision, then it will suck. So piercing and sucking means that is the one which is happening, and the detailed one is given in your book. In detail, they have given each and everything, how the serration they are doing. Serration means the incision, how the muscular action of the retraction and protrusion of the muscular action will be there, and how the mandibles will act. Everything is given in detail in your book. You can once read it, then you will understand everything. First, it will make incision, then it will discharge the saliva, then it will be pressing out with the labium. Then it will insert a groove into which it will able to suck with the like a sucking pump, hypopharynx with the, and then it will suck the blood from the human beings. So each and every part of the mosquito play an important role in the piercing and sucking. That's why we are calling them as piercing and sucking. So like that, the in thrips, we will find the rasping and sucking. It will happen in the, usually they'll have a clypeus part, maxilla, hypopharynx part, labium, labrum, palps, and the mandibles. They also have a different mode of how to take the food from the different leaves and all that. So this is called as an rasping and sucking. First they will rasp it, and then they are able to suck that particular.
What's the meaning of rasping, ma'am? Rasping.
Rasping means what we can say. If you keep the chocolate in the mouth and you are not able to chew it, just you are rasping it, then that is called as a rasping.
Okay, okay.
That's all. So next one is a sponging or lapping type. We will see in this sponging means this particular basal part of the housefly, they will have an labella with which it will be pressing the food. When it go and sit on the food, with this labella, it will press the food. So that is called as a sponging. Means first it will pressing with the labella, that particular food. Then it will release the saliva onto that food. Okay. So with the labella, it will be sitting on the food and it is sponging it. So that is called as a sponging. Then it will release the saliva and suck the food. So we are calling the type of mouth parts this particular housefly is possessing sponging and sucking type. Okay. They will also have the same things. Labella. Labella also have an teeth-like structures near that particular area. 6 teeth-like structures will be there in that particular labella. Then these will help in making the food into some liquid form wherever it is sitting and pressing, and then it is able to suck it. So this is the parts which are explained here are labrum, epipharynx, labella. Hypopharynx is the tongue structure, maxillary palp, labium, and the rostrum. When you read it, the given things in the book, then you will understand how they are able to do that particular action. Like hypopharynx is acting like an salivary duct, means tongue. Hypopharynx means tongue. Having the salivary duct, it releases the saliva. Then labella, with the labella, it will able to press the food. And with the epipharynx, it is able to acts like a food channel. It is able to suck it. So these are the series of events what will happen there. And the in between the labella, we also see a pseudotracheal structures, which are like an teeth, which will make the food into some liquid form with the help of saliva, and it is able to suck it. Read it, you can understand each and everything very easily. Coming to the chewing and lapping type of mouthparts, honeybee. Yeah, open the page. 40, page number.
Okay, ma'am.
There also, they'll have the same things. Labrum upper lip, labium lower lip, labial palps, maxilla, maxillary palps, and mandibles. So mouthparts are modified for collecting nectar and pollen. Some mouthparts consist of labrum mandibles, maxillae, labium, and the epipharynx. So mandibles are smooth and are situated on either side of the labrum. They are used in molding the wax, that is making the honeycomb. Instead of chewing and biting, these mandibles are making the molds of honey, honeybee. Okay, make the honeycomb.
Yes, ma'am.
So during that time, they are useful. Instead of biting and chewing is not there. So the labium has a submentum, mentum, paraglossa, glossa, all the large labial palpi, and this labellum is used gathering the honey, and it is an organ of taste and smell. The maxilla and labial palps form a tube enclosing the glossa, which
Ma'am, what is glossa?
When you see glossa and paraglossa, they are given in the in the detailed structure is given in the cockroach mouthpart, that is grasshopper mouthparts. Glossa, paraglossa. I explained. There you will see this structure.
It is an organ of taste and smell.
Huh?
The organ of taste. Glossa is an organ of taste.
We'll say that the structures are useful in gathering, collecting, tasting. They are all sense organs, how we have in the mouth, each and everything like that. So the glossa is used for gathering.
Glossa is multi-purpose usage sense organ.
Yeah, like that only. It is an organ of taste and smell. The maxilla and the labial palps form a tube enclosing the glossa, which moves up and down to collect the nectar. Usually,
ma'am, generally it acts as a tongue, no, ma'am?
Glossa. Tongue. Tongue means usually hypopharynx will be acting like a tongue with the salivary duct. But here there is no hypopharynx region. Okay, here we don't see the hypopharynx region in the mouth part of honeybee. So the main one which is acting like an everything is glossa. Here the main role is played by the glossa of the labium. Labium will have the glossa, which is the movement of glossa is helping out to lapping out the honey from the flowers. So we are discussing only about the movement of the glossa, which is present to the labium. The movement of this glossa only, it is able to collect the nectar. Okay. Whatever is discussed here, we will think and analyze. You don't think about the other things. What happened to hypopharynx? What happened to saliva? That is a different where they are described in the mosquito and housefly. Okay. Here the main role is played by the glossa. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
All will have the everything we can't see. The structures which are meant to that particular feeding habit, we will discuss, and what is the role played by them, we will read it. Okay. Why the hypopharynx not there in the this particular honeybee means I can't say, because it is having the parts which it possesses. What is the function done by them, we will read and write. Okay. So in coming to the siphoning type of mouth parts, when we come to the butterfly, they'll have a still more simple structure. Okay. They doesn't possess any like that, whatever we are going on discussing the things. Here we see a simple structure of antenna, compound, labial palps, galea. This galea is the structure which is of fusion of proboscis, means like an elephant trunk it possesses. Actually, it is coiled. This galea is the fusion of proboscis, which will be coiled. When it goes to the flower, then it will uncoil it. Okay. How the even the elephant able to circulate trunk and move it long. Like that here also, whenever it goes to the flower, it will uncoil this particular galea, which is circularly shown in the diagram. In the circular form, it is shown in the diagram. It will uncoil it and it will insert into the
while collecting, it should be straw-like structure.
Uncoil.
Straw-like. So it will uncoil it, deep insert into the flower, and it will suck the nectar. And the main role of this mouth parts, other mouth parts like mandibles or any other things which we have discussed earlier, they doesn't possess here. It will not possess here. So we will discuss only about the galea, elongated, hollow, semicircular structure. When both galea come close together, they form a sucking proboscis, which is coiled and kept below the head during the non-feeding time. When it visits the flower, it uncoils that proboscis and suck the nectar. That point also you can add it. Okay. So they'll have a mask type of mouth parts, like in the dragonflies, biting and chewing type. Here also they'll have a labrum, mandible, maxilla, and the labium, and degenerate type of mouth parts in the maggots, which they don't have any type of mouth parts, well developed in the maggot stage. And here ends the discussion of the mouth parts. In the next class, I'll...
Means if they ask this write about mouth parts, means we should write all these things, ma'am?
Yeah, with the diagrams. Usually they'll ask, write
Describe the various types of mouth parts
mouth
found in.
parts. Write about anything diagrammatically, 2 or 3 like that. Or otherwise, your choice. You can learn. If you can learn all, you can learn all. Otherwise, you can learn 2 or 3.
In assignments, this question came, ma'am.
Okay, how many? They have mentioned it as how many?
Long question.
Long question.
Long question means how they have given the question. Write in detail about the mouth parts of insects. Not mention the number.
Up to this write and draw, madam. These all parts.
Huh?
In assignments, we should write and draw all these kinds of pictures.
If they have not mentioned number.
I said various.
Ask me. Repeat it.
Describe the various types of mouth parts found in insects.
Okay. You take examples of which you can draw it neatly. 5, maximum 5 or 3. It's enough, no? For your, how many marks you will have the questions? Like
10 marks, ma'am.
10 marks means 3 if you draw, it's okay. 3 if you mention, it's okay.
Okay, ma'am.
You can draw it and mention some mouth parts. What is the work done by them? It's enough. While writing, you can mention all. In detail, when you are writing, draw 2 or 3 diagrams. If possible, 2 also enough, I think.
Total 7 types of mouth parts are there, madam. So we should write, I think, all, in assignments.
No, no need.
No need, huh?
No need. Only 5 you draw. 5 you draw.
Okay.
Mention the
Sorry, madam.
mouth part and the example in front. Okay. While writing the list, you mention it. In detail, when you are drawing for the exam also, you take 2 or 3 because it's for 10 marks. There is no time you to draw all 7.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
So
it's very lengthy process.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling. Time is important, no? So for 10
yeah. We should maintain that time.
You have to concise each and everything.
Okay, fine.
To that marks only.
Okay, minimum is
10 marks. How much time you are getting in total paper for 10 marks question? According to that, you have to prepare that particular, concise the topic to that particular thing. Okay, 7 are given, 14 are given, means all 14 you have to draw and write in 10 marks. That is not the way. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Meaning. Okay. The time limitation for 10 marks, how much you are getting. In that time limit, how much you can write it. That you have to be very particular. Do the preparation according to that. Any more questions? 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
All the classes you have attended? Who is this? Who is speaking?
Yes, ma'am.
All the classes.
From 10:30 to 4:30.
Yeah. Ali, you are speaking this Salma?
Yes, ma'am. I attend all classes today.
Okay.
From 10:30 to 4:30, ma'am.
There is no break.
No break,
Without
ma'am.
any break.
How many? How much time?
All classes over, ma'am. 5 classes,
This is the last
including
class.
with this entomology.
Yeah. This was the last class.
Yes, ma'am.
Next week we'll make it as in first class.
Yeah, it's better to, madam, please share the slides, madam, because we could not understand these books pictures. That's why we should need
Yes,
some
ma'am. Because
colorful
they are not
pictures now.
colorful, ma'am. If it is colorful, it is very good to understand.
You usually I'll make them to do in the record work, practical record work. When you do it, no, you will get an idea how to draw them also, because I'll draw it on the board along with me. You also draw, then you will get the total things how you can draw the mouth parts.
Now we don't have any offline class now, madam. That's why we should try to understand by the colors of the pictures. We can blindly understand that function of that particular part, whatever it may be.
Now you got some idea about that. Now you can.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I got some idea.
Okay. If at all possible, also I'll send you one PDF of with the pictures.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. We need some PDFs.
I used to have. I'll search and share it.
Okay, fine.
Madam, if possible, make form a group of entomology group. It is elective, no, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, you.
Yeah, Akhilesh, you should make, I think, group of our entomology.
You can make it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.